Hello and welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. Each week we have a lively and uh, diverse range of topics at Sunday Coffee Hour, which starts at 12 noon every Sunday. This Sunday we discuss the best estate sales in the city of Chicago. Most of them seem to be in Beverly this weekend. And also the topic of polio and how it still is present in places in the world like Afghanistan. Also, we talked about early childhood development and the emergence of what teachers describe as locus of control or locus of external control. And I had never heard of this term, and a couple other people never had, but some people had the idea that you're guided and can guide your own destiny on your own, or the idea that you are really a victim of external forces. And I think most people thought the locus of self-control was desirable, but I thought it was somewhat probably need to be a balance, because we all experience a little bit of both in our lives, but most of us like to think we're the captain of our own destiny. At the same time, the readings at church, a number of different churches, was Isaiah and Hebrews and Mark, and the Isaiah passage was lovely. It essentially was the text of one of my favorite hymns, Holy Jesus. And along with Hebrews, the message of the gospel and the Old Testament was pretty much the idea of shaking off the tyranny of your own personal mania. So I'm not talking about anyone other than just probably myself. And then at church, actually, before I got to church, this last couple weeks, I was really reflecting on everything that's going on in the world, and I was reminded of John Buchanan. He gave a sermon, I believe it was in the 1990s when Bill Clinton was in office. And then during the sermon, he stopped and he said, let's not be Pollyannish. The news is not good. And at the time I thought, I know things are bad always, but it doesn't seem to be that bad. And now looking back, I think, well, there's probably no one in the world who would self-describe or could be described as being Pollyannish. At church at National Cathedral, Jan Cope started out with what seemed to be a pretty sleepy sermon, but she took a turn in the middle of it where she compared the frustration Jesus had for his disciples and their jockeying for position. She compared that to the time she worked in the White House and her observation of people jockeying for prime office real estate near the Oval Office, even if it was a small, as she described as a cracker box. I thought that was very amusing. I don't know when Jan was going to share that little trivia that she had actually worked in the White House, but I'm glad she did. It got my attention. She followed that with a terrific quote from someone she described as a great moral thinker, Jonathan Sacks, who said, "Bad behavior can be contagious, but so can good behavior." At St. James Cathedral, Dominic Barrington had to give a sermon on stewardship and pledging, which I think, I sense that even Mr. Barrington was annoyed that he had to give. But it was also the 187th anniversary of the Congregation of St. James, and some very interesting history was shared about the rather rakish nature of the early inhabitants of Chicago. And I was kind of amused by that, because I thought, well, probably truth be known, in Chicago we're still probably pretty rakish. But the rest of his point was the idea that, what better fertile ground for the church to be established in sometimes what seemed to be the worst of places. Those kinds of stories always hearten me, because I'm reminded that even bad people can give good gifts, and that's the idea that there is hope for all of us. So, Jan back at National also quoted Mother Teresa near the end of her sermon, and she said, Mother Teresa said that God has created us to give small things with great love. So those are my takeaways from Sunday Coffee Hour, that we all probably should try to be a little more Pollyannish, and we should be take the opportunity to give the small gifts and be grateful when we are the recipients of these small gifts with great love. Sunday Coffee Hour is always at noon on Sunday. Whether you're attending church or not attending church, we'd love to have you stop by and say hello and join in on, on some of these challenging and amusing and thought-provoking topics. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.